I'd like to call this meeting to order for the Townsend Conservation Commission for Wednesday, January 10th, 2024 at
7:03.
7:03 p.m. Can I have a roll call, please?
Pat General here.
James Gates.
Kevin Smith.
This meeting is being recorded. Is anyone else recording? I'll stand, and Kevin, can you lead us to the pledge of allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Uh, 1.4 Chairman's additions and deletions. There was grant stuff that we might discuss at the time, but we'll see how we
Send it
do
ahead. Send it ahead.
Chair report. Don't have under report. Anything I have reported is covered in the agent's report. Review and approve meeting minutes from 9/27/23 and 12/13/23. Everyone had a chance to look those over. I saw was on the December one, under the staff report, 81 Turnpike Road, it says note about DA and it should be RDA.
Oh, RDA.
Other than that, once those corrections are made, good. So we need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes from 9/27/23 and 12/13/23.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, please.
Pat General, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Um, 1.7 agents report. Autumn, our agent, is with us tonight.
All right,
Good evening,
so
Rob.
good evening. So this is from December 14th through January 10th. We signed off on a building permit for 10 Cooperage Way, which was for a front porch addition. The Board of Health, we signed, we have interdepartmental signatures for septic replacements, 17 Hickory Drive, 10 Cedar Circle, 106 Haynes Road, 80 Main Street, and 50 Sauna Row Road. Applications that we've received are for our NOIs for 50 Sauna Row Road, 80 Main Street, and 106 Haynes Road. We've issued 2 enforcement orders, one to 158 Main Street, and the other is for 97 Main Street. We sent out an enforcement letter to 88 Meadow.
That was for that culvert replacement.
Yep, that was for the culvert replacement. We sent letters to homeowners.
Looking good, I don't.
He hasn't filed his notice of intent.
Letters to homeowners at 25 Worcester Road for possible tree clearing in a wetland buffer zone. And then also a letter to residents that live on Aries Lane and Capricorn Lane between Conscom land. There was a bridge that was installed in a creek at that location. So, and then for scenic road approval for removal of a stone wall, that was at 108 West Meadow Road. And then we did get an email invitation for Conscom to attend a presentation by Harvey Leonard. He's a meteorologist. He will be presenting climate change, simple, serious, and solvable on January 23rd at 3 p.m. at First Parish Church United of Westford. And if you would like more details on that, I can provide them later. And then last but not least, we have ongoing research for 3 grants that are opening up soon that CONSCOM could apply for funding. It's the Wild Scenic Grant. The second is Environmental Preservation and Animal Welfare Grant Program. And last is the Mass Trails Grant. And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
Have you made the town's grant write-up aware of those grants?
Yep, she's away.
So 88 Meadow Road, he's working to get us a NOI, but he has, started to receive fines,
Yes, yep,
$300 per week.
yep, $300 per week.
He knew about it back in September,
Tomorrow will be the 5th ticket that I issue for that.
so.
Jesus, I never would have thought that one would. Is he around?
Yep.
Yeah, he called me the other day.
We try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and so we try to work with people. We still have 6 minutes before our first appointment. Okay.
Do you
And
mind
then-
if I add in a quick enforcement update too?
Good
Please.
evening.
Hello, everyone. Oh, my cat's coming. Lucky you. We have continued to send out fines to 61 Edward Road as well. So mailing those certified is getting expensive, so I have reduced the frequency to monthly, but still with the accrued total fine in that time. So just, yeah, FYI.
Want to talk to legal counsel at some point.
I did.
And I believe there was discussion at the select board meeting last night
Look
about
who it is.
enforcement of properties with the same issue.
Yep, so we, as of,
Well, hold on, Therese Morris is here, or joined us, oh, and Jessica's
Jessica's
cat.
cat.
She's select liaison.
This is my Gary.
so yeah, we did, talk about that, and we do want it to be handled directly through council as much as possible. You should be aware when the hours are here with the council. He's in at least once a month, and make sure you're always on his agenda to, go over, any of those items directly with town council.
Well, I guess my question would be, we can send them legal notices at 12 or 15 bucks a whack from now until, no more, how much, Jessica?
It's like 9
9?
change,
Oh, okay, that was like 12 bucks.
still, when you do,
If you're gonna do it every week and you reduce it to every month, doesn't change anything. The guy has no intentions of doing anything. We've given him 2 years to, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years?
since Jimmy was on the
Yeah.
commission last.
We've given him much time to even respond. We've got no response. Don't you think it, moving forwards without waiting 9 more years, sending them $9 every month, or why don't we talk to legal counsel about putting an attachment on the property
So,
and move it forward
yeah.
that way? It's a
I
suggestion.
think I would recommend then that we discuss this in executive session at the next meeting
Okay.
briefly,
Okay.
so I can fill you in
Thank you.
on that if that's okay with James. But
Sure. Thank you.
Jessica, is there any other enforcement things you wanna touch base on? With the exception of the 2 that we have under our work session?
I don't think so. I got them covered, the rest of them, yeah.
Okay.
14, 15,
What?
7:15.
Yeah, but it's not 7:13, so I'm gonna just read some of the CBA decisions. Four point one, ZBA notice of public hearing, 99 Clement Road. This is for petition for renewal of a special permit for an accessory apartment at 355 Main Street. On January 16th, 2024 at 6:45 PM, to hear, and that will be in the select board chambers,
Was that 17?
16th.
16?
There was also another public hearing, same day, at 7:15 for a special permit for an accessory apartment at 23 Shore Road. And, at 7 PM, special permit, accessory apartment hearing, for 99 Clement Road. These are all renewals.
That's the 359 Main. Is that everything?
Yes.
Then what's the ZBA transmittal decision for 168 Lunenburg Road? What is,
That's the request. It's just a request for a special permit.
168 Lindenberg was another accessory apartment renewal that was that was already granted at the last CBA meeting.
right, it's just a transmittal decision, I was just going through it. Thank you.
Okay, can you sign in for me, please?
Two point one, Lisa Struthers, is here, to discuss the dam that Hollingsworth and Rose, maintains on her property and the concern she has for flooding. Kevin, you know more about this than,
Well, what I know is that I took a look at her backyard, hopped in my truck, took a ride down and looked at the floodgate. It was partially open and blocked. And she says there's been problems over the years with that. Gary may be familiar with that from his family's perspective. I had told Lisa the day we met that we would look into it, and I said we would try to help her as be a person, if we had the contact information, as to maybe who we could contact at H&B that was in charge of opening and closing that gate. That being said, I didn't really do much more about it, other than ask her to bring in the information and the contact information. I guess that's probably why she's here.
Autumn, you reached out to
Yeah.
H&B to see if you could get someone here.
I did. I got a response email from Isabel,
Okay.
and she's an environmental manager at H&B. And she said that she would be the one that would come to our meeting, but she never responded to my email verifying she was going to be here tonight to discuss the topic.
But she is willing to come. to a meeting.
She is the one that would come to a meeting to talk about it, and is what she said in her email, that she is the contact person for this, but never said that she would be attending tonight or in the future.
She's hopping on right now. I see Isabel's iPhone joining.
Oh, awesome.
Great. Well, you guys can lead this one.
So,
Go ahead.
firstly, I owe unmeasurable amount of gratitude to the employees, maintenance managers, tower bosses at H&B today, through the past, 30 years, who have answered my phone calls at any given time of day or night and come and open the gate to relieve me of flooding. So I really want them to know that. In the harbor, in Townsend Harbor, in the 6 years I've been there, I only know of 2 buildings that have ever and do to this day get flooded. And that's 25 and 31 South Street. So these are properties that are mid South Street, one being my home and my neighbor. I drew up some schematics that kind of show how the river comes down. It forms this little cove behind my house and my neighbor's house, which you really don't see from the road. Looks like my house is sitting there and you see the pond back there, but it, as Kevin can attest to, it drops down to water level where our basements hold our utilities. The first point of vulnerable entrance for the water at my house is 13 feet from the water's edge. So I think there's people in this room that can attest that we've never seen stuff like this in the winter. High water events like this in the winter, it's usually spring thaw. So I just trying to be proactive, think it's time to have some entity in the town have a relationship with some entity at H&B going forward so that there's a proper type of procedure communication there for high water. I've been told by a very reputable water watcher that high water in West Townsend is looked at Canal Street, Prospect Bridge, and the Trestle, Jeff Street. And in this person's opinion, that if there's high water there, a high water mark there, that the harbor trestle, the harbor gate should be open at that point to allow that to come through. Over the years, there's been a few things tried out between, I had the whole H&B gang there, mill manager and whatnot there at my home. And at one point, when they were calling for 3 inches of rain, they actually opened the gate a day ahead of time to lower the water to accommodate the crest. That worked out well. But as long as I've lived there, never had this kind of high water stress in the winter. And of course, the last rainstorm compounded with that much snow has made today waiting for the crest, which is exactly 8 hours after it stops raining, it starts coming. It was a whole new scenario with that kind of snow melt. So I called them, I've called them a couple days, I call them all the time, they know me as Red, and they're very kind to take my phone calls to protect my property, but it just seems to me there should be something in place in town. Who that entity is, I don't know, I just wanted to get that conversation started. And Kevin was very gracious to come and at least put eyes on it to know what I was talking about. I have no yard.
I believe Isabel's on Zoom.
She looks muted.
That's for sure.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute.
Welcome.
Okay.
Yes, I'm online.
Good evening. You lost her again.
Say that again?
We're-
I said, good evening.
Oh, hi, good evening. I am sorry I'm not there in person. I got the Zoom invitation. I thought it was a Zoom meeting. Otherwise, I would have stuck around the office a little longer and come over and met all of you face to face. So thank you, Red, for sort of running through all of those comments. I'm mostly here to just learn what is going on, and I completely concur with you that 2 things. We've never seen weather with this intensity before, and yes, it's time to get a dialogue and a process together to make sure that everybody feels safe. actually, we did open up the dam bypass yesterday in anticipation of the storm and like before, and have been doing that. But the storm what concerned me the most was at Christmas time or just before Christmas. And by the way, about a half hour ago, we got the Swannacook high flow rate alarms coming through. So there's a lot of water coming down from above, from before us. So I wanted to assure you that we are in conversation with PAR Corporation. They're an engineering firm that we use for our dam inspections and the emergency action response plan, to put together best practices for response protocol and managing protocol.
Do you mind sharing those with us briefly?
Well, I put a request in for a quote at that Christmas storm, and I just received, we are issuing a PO. We don't have it worked out, but it is in the works.
Thank you.
And we have no problem sharing them when we do have them, by the way.
I believe the issue that day, Isabel, I believe the issue that day was brush getting in the upper side of the floodgate. Wasn't letting the water through properly. There was a restriction there. That's obviously nobody's fault. That stuff can come down, go underneath the trestles and end up at that gate. And in a matter of minutes, depending on what it's picking up from upstream and cause a problem. My only concern, I guess, would be during those high level storms, is there some way that we can find a way to monitor it? Not hourly, obviously, but a couple times a day or something during those particular storms, like that particular one around Christmas.
In particular, yes, absolutely. I believe that is part of what is being proposed, is to install basically a vertical ruler that we would then have actual numbers, and we would be able to monitor it with a camera so that we can be able to look at it at any time. But again, I'm waiting for the engineering firm to come back, because they will be stamping these and taking, there'll be PE stamped best practices for this particular site.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Nice to meet you, Isabel.
I wish Mrs. Priest, right. Nice to meet you.
Today at 4:00, I was sort of on the go down and check all day patrol. And at 4:00, there was actually ice coming through the canal, had jammed up in front of the gate. So it was pushing over the side spillway pretty heavily. So that's another variable of this unprecedented weather, was that we have ice coming. And it had moved down through the canal and jammed up against that gate. So another place to have eyes on, probably.
Yep.
And I've got all kinds of information and data and pictures and anything you need for historical.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Of the area, including these two properties, because we're just in this cove. Any resistance at the corner, of course, the water takes a path of least resistance and pushes into that cove. And with the enormous amount of erosion we've had, our yard in the back is getting smaller and smaller. So just time for preventative measures, I think.
Yep.
Anything you need from me, I'd be happy to talk to you.
Thank you.
So it sounds like there's some dialogue that's been created here and the plan set in place.
Yeah. They're working on it.
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful.
Isabel, do you mind keeping us updated on the progress, please? Absolutely, it'd be my pleasure. Actually, I'm pretty new, so it was actually, the December storm was when I was really assessing what we knew, didn't know how we were managing it. So I apologize for not, a year ago when I started in, I was not sure anything. So I will definitely, as I get more information, I will share it with the Concom, and then they can distribute it as they would like to do it. Autumn, is that okay?
And in the meantime, Isabel, I'll probably still call.
That absolutely. I don't think the maintenance guys would know what to do if you didn't call them.
I know I owe them pizza.
Hey, wait, they didn't say anything about that to me.
But again, please pass on my sincere thank yous to everyone that have saved my property.
Will do. They'll like to hear it. Okay, so to wrap up, I will keep you updated with our measures that we will be installing over the next. There's urgency in getting this done because there doesn't look like the storms are going to let up anytime soon. So the emails will be coming in. Hopefully, in the next 2 weeks, we'll have some sort of understanding, and then in 2 weeks, we'll have something done. So I'm just giving you a sense that we do know there's urgency to get this done as soon as we can.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Good evening.
All right. Bye-bye.
Children for coming down that day. I know
Yeah.
you were busy. Can I be in the loop on all that cool stuff?
Yep.
What is she, an engineer? Engineer for H&B? She an engineer for H&B, right?
Yep.
Hey, Jacques, can you sign in, please? All right. We have 6 minutes before our 7:35. Adam, can you?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. So I'm gonna go to 3.1, enforcement order for 97 Main Street. If Autumn or Jessica could open up the discussion on this and we can ratify it.
Sure.
Please and thank you.
Do you want me to read the enforcement order?
Sure. You want to copy this?
Sure. All right, this is an enforcement order for 97 Main Street. The parking lot associated with 97 Main Street was repaved over the weekend and asphalt was placed in areas previously observed as impervious. Based on available mapping data, it appears that much of this work was completed within a wetland buffer. These buffers are jurisdictional to the Conservation Commission and impacts must be permitted accordingly. As such, you are in violation of the Townsend Wetlands Bylaw, Chapter 138 and Mass Wetlands Protection Act 310. The chair of the Conservation Commission communicated that the area was near wetlands and to stay out of the buffer to on-site personnel on Friday, December 15th. However, work continued into the weekend. So this enforcement order was issued on December 20th. And we were in contact with them on December 15th, letting them know that the work was being done near wetlands.
December 15th, it says the
20th, issued on the 20th.
The personnel was on site on Friday, December 15th, and let them know before they did the work that they were in a sensitive area, and then the work was done, and the enforcement order was then issued on December 20th.
We need a motion to ratify this and the second.
I'll make a motion to ratify the enforcement order for 97 Main Street issued 12/18. Excuse me,
So from
12/20, I'm sorry.
there's a second.
Yeah, second.
Roll call vote, please.
Patrick Williams.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
I make one note, that description at the beginning, I think said that areas were paved over that were impervious. It should be pervious. I think. I'm right?
Yeah.
Contact is in the room. We could confirm that.
No, that's correct. You wipe that out?
We can replace the first page and just edit it. The signature page will not be affected.
Here, Pat. Is that copy, please, Alan? Let's go close those.
Did you send me two? Oh, that's fine. That's why. Okay.
Who's the legal notice on? No, they've already been done.
There's nothing in back here.
Oh. Okay, 7:35. The notices of intent, we do not have a DEP number. When was the last, did we check this evening? See if there was a DEP number issue?
Yeah, I checked my email. There was not one issued.
Did you check the website?
No.
Okay, regardless, TWB 2023-161. The applicant is Townsend Historic Society. Representing them is from Dillis and Roy is Chris McKenzie. The location is 80 Main Street. The proposed project is for the construction of an addition onto the rear of the existing building, a new septic system, associated grading and stormwater infrastructure within a resource area buffer. So we need a motion and a second to open the hearing, and then I'll read the legal notice.
Or we want it within its entirety.
To open it? Yeah, we just gotta leave the DEP number out because we don't have it.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to open the hearing. For the applicant, Townsend Historical Society, representatives Dillis and Roy Civil Design Group, Chris McKenzie, who I believe is in attendance with us, location 80 Main Street. Project status, the proposed project is for construction of an addition onto the rear of the existing building, a new septic system and associated grading and stormwater infrastructure within a resource buffer, area buffer.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, please.
Pat Gemma, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
I just want to go on record that I am invoking the rule of necessity as I am employed by a contractor, but because of the size of our commission and the attendance of our commission, in order to open this hearing, I need to be involved in it. Pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Townsend Wetlands Bylaw, the Townsend Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, January 10th, 2024 at approximately 7:35 p.m. The hearing will be held virtually via Zoom meeting and in person at Town Hall on a notice of intent filed with the Conservation Commission by Townsend Historic Society. The property is located at 80 Main Street, Assessors Map 34, parcels 4 and 5. The proposed project is for the construction of a building addition, a new septic system, a stormwater management area, and associated grading. Part of the construction will take place within 100 feet of the bordering vegetated wetland, and all of the work will occur within bordering land subject to flooding and 200 feet from Harbor Pond. Parties wishing to speak in support of or in opposition to this application may do so at the meeting or in writing prior to the meeting. Copies of the application are available for review at Town Hall during business hours. Chris, welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry I had to join you by Zoom tonight.
Okay.
But if you allow me to share the screen, I can put the plan up on view here for everyone.
Hartley, do you mind?
Should be all set. Thank you.
Yeah. How's that?
Looks great. You got it.
So as you all remember, we did the site walk the other day. The property, zoom in a little bit here. The church is located here on the plan. There's an existing back portion that's going to be removed, and then of course the proposed addition going on the back here. I've highlighted the 100-foot wetland buffer zone there and the 35-foot no disturb zone. We are not proposing any work in the 35-foot no disturb zone at all. We are also outside a 50-foot buffer zone from the wetlands as well. So as far as wetland buffer zone work, it's all just in the 50 to 100-foot zone. We're proposing a new septic tank and pump chamber with a force main that comes over to a geomat leach area located here. We've asked for a 2-foot groundwater offset reduction for the leach area to minimize the amount of volume of fill that goes into this situation. Since we are in a flood zone, obviously a septic system is exempt from those rules in an upgrade situation like this. There's a difference in this plan from what we've submitted. I've added a grease trap. Word came down the pike that the Board of Health, regardless of what we were calling the kitchen area that's inside here, they were going to want a grease trap. So I've added that to the plan. However, it hasn't been reviewed and stamped by our engineer yet, so I didn't bother to send it in. But that's really the only difference from the plan that you have on file at this point. We show erosion control barrier starting at the back side of the side of the building here and coming down around the stormwater management area and then across and around the septic system area to mitigate any sediment or erosion that might occur during construction. That covers most of it. I know we kind of talked a lot of this stuff a little bit at the site walk. Does anybody have any questions?
Looks good to me. Looks great, actually. Everything works, where the controls all in place.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the erosion control. I'm just wondering if it should be encompass the entire gravel parking area. Because I don't know how it would.
Good point, you're not gonna be able to work in there. Good point, Chris. Did you get that?
Yeah, I heard that. Well, you know, I don't show something like that because when I look at this, I see two separate pieces of property. So I don't like the idea of putting erosion controls on the abutting property. I understand this is a kind of a unique situation, so I would not be opposed to going around the gravel parking area. You know,
I think under the circumstances, that
Yeah,
you're limiting them with the area for parking and work area, leaving it as designed.
right. At least this way, during construction, while the erosion controls are in place, the parking area could still be used by the general public. Whereas you know, with it as I show it now, it obviously would be cutting off that gravel parking area temporarily anyways. So I wouldn't be opposed to that at all.
If the owner of the rail trail would not be opposed, wouldn't you kick it off the corner of the leach field down to the 50-foot buffer and go along the outside of the 50-foot restrictive buffer and go around and tie back in that back corner?
By the
Yeah.
the marker around the granite post.
Correct.
The only thing I think about, Kevin, and I'm sure you're aware of this, how this works, is a lot of times that erosion control barrier marks the limit of work. And, you know, we start showing it going on to the abutting property. I'd be a little concerned whether or not they might do anything there that the abutters may not want. But I'm not opposed to it. I just want to make sure we.
If the abutter was present at the meeting and the abutter doesn't have any concerns about it, I wouldn't see a problem with it. Would you, Jim?
No, the only other thing with the erosion control is I'm wondering if silt fence would be wattled because of the proximity of the pond and the construction debris.
I agree, especially when you're moving it over. So, Chris, you wouldn't have a problem if the board, I don't believe is gonna have a problem if we have a representative of the abutting property that might make a comment that they would have no problem with that erosion control being moved over, coming off the corner of the leach field, Chris, out to the 50-foot buffer around tying back in.
Yeah, I don't have any concern about that. I would be fine with that.
Do we have a representative here? I thought I saw him somewhere.
Hi.
Oh, that's why I didn't see you right.
Yeah, no, I've talked to Chris before about how I see this as very much a joint project between the rail trail and the historic society. So anything that helps this project also helps the rail trail, so I would have no objections.
I agree with what Chris is saying about the limit of work, because that's always a concern. Chris, do you know if they plan on stockpiling any material on site or if it will be trucked out?
Stockpiling be fairly minimal. The geomat system does not require an overdig, so they just would dig out any of the top and subsoil. That would be probably stored on site somewhere. Same thing with the storm water management area. There may be some excavation for the tanks as well that may temporarily be stored. There's only a small amount of fill coming in, and I think it's probably a break-even situation with the amount of fill. So I don't know that they'll be bringing much in other than the sand required for the system.
It looks to me like your break even, your top number, if I'm not mistaken, because my eyes are getting bad, 274 and a half. You're
Yep.
breaking back down to grade. You're not looking at a big over dig, Chris. I would think that the contractor would simply take that material right out and lay it right out on the side and put a little material in there, put the system in, and put it right to sleep. No large area needed for stockpiling.
No,
Yeah.
our regulations, we updated them to require, showing on the plans where the stockpile material is supposed to go, but I also understand there isn't much on this
There
one.
isn't much. Volume of material that you're moving,
You'll strip the
that you're
loam
stripping
out.
and you're moving it, and you're talking about a very small quantity. I don't think it's gonna come into play.
I don't think there's enough
No,
to stockpile and work.
no, I don't see any problem at all with the plan. I think moving that over is gonna be very helpful to everybody there on site. Throwing some wattles along with the silt fence because of its proximity, I think would probably be a great idea, in my opinion.
Chris, did you read the National Heritage response?
Yes, I did, and obviously they're asking for a turtle protection plan, which we're looking into getting done and submitted to them. And obviously that's only required to be implemented if the work is done during the the period of which.
In
When
season.
does that start? I know it's kind of new and it's kicked us in the butt a couple of times already. Is it
I knew
March?
you were going to ask me. I think it's around April 15th is my guess. April to October, if I remember right.
I knew it was in October, but I thought it was a little bit earlier than April 15th.
No, I think it's April.
Right.
Yeah, April 15th to October 15th. Do you have any questions? You weren't able to attend the site walk, but, Chris, do you know if there's any infrastructure upgrades happening?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of work being planned on, for, with the building. I don't know the specifics of that beyond the addition part of it. But I'm not aware of any other stuff. There's an existing water service already there. So I don't anticipate any changes to that.
Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to have a little foresight so that you don't have to come in front of us again to make any changes if there are any that are needed.
Right. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to get the grease trap thing straightened, at least on my plan today, even though I couldn't get a final version of it completed. But also, just to be clear, the grease trap and the septic tanks and pump chamber are all outside the 100-foot buffer, although they are in the flood zone and that kind of stuff, but they are outside the buffer.
Now, is the parking lot going to remain gravel?
Well, yeah, the parking isn't really on the church property. It's on the rail trail property, but there's no proposal here to change that. In fact, we tried to work real hard to get the stormwater management area into that little area and not affect the parking area. Parking is already limited enough here, so we didn't want to interfere with any of that at all.
Do you have any questions or concerns?
No.
Jessica?
No, none tonight. I think the plan's pretty straightforward. We're just waiting comment from others.
Thank you, Jessica.
We've opened it up to public comment if there's anyone that has questions, concerns, comments.
Hi, Mary Jane Churchill. I'm from the Townsend Historical Society, and just wanted to know what kind of parking will be available for this facility when it's done.
We do have a sense of how much parking we probably can get today, but we are looking at alternatives.
Well, what do we have today?
Probably a combination between the church and Reed Homestead, 30 spaces.
How many are you gonna have on Harbor Church property?
10,
That's for sure.
as it sits today. I won't say for sure, that is a number that I've heard.
There's another possibility if I can.
Well,
Hold on, excuse me, Mary Jane. Can I let him speak for a moment?
Well, just directly to your question.
Yeah.
I also talked to Chris about the possibility of adding some parking on the rail trail property. Since it really is effectively a combined parking lot. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but I think you said 9 or 10 other cars might be able to park in there, in that property between the rail trail and where the property line for the Townsend Historical Society.
That's correct. We roughed out just to take a look at that space and see what we could fit in there and still have an access way to the parking spots. And we figured we could get 9 or 10 in there, depending on the required width.
You know, this is not a definite plan, it's just a possibility.
Right.
There's other possibilities too, so that's, you know, with the green homes fit, and we'll just see how, try to see what, you know, obviously, we're not permitting that, but
No, but you have talked to the commission about permitting additional parking spots.
yeah, because at one point this was previous to the offer that we had. We were
Yeah.
thinking about expanding parking, and it would have included the area which is now gonna be the septic and the rail trail together. And we actually had done a site walk, and then we pulled it when the things changed with the Harbor Church. So it is still very much a possibility. Because, you know, both the rail trail and THS. additional parking, so we just have to keep investigating.
18, 20, right? 18 to 20, right? Basically.
Yeah, I was just concerned about on the church, but. That's a little bit.
Still up in the air, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's.
It's nice to know the facts.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Jane. No other questions?
Is there anyone else that? So unfortunately, because we don't have a DEP number, which we're lucky to have the National Heritage Letter. We can't close this or make a decision tonight, so we'll have to continue it, but I don't think we have any other questions.
Oh, I would like to make a side note that we did contact the DEP and request that they review Amy Main Street for us. So I know we haven't gotten back yet, but we did try, and we reached out to them about this application.
And we also got all the abutters information back too, correct?
So I made contact with DEP today, and we made contact with
Do you mind introducing yourself?
Good.
Do you mind stating your name?
Oh, Gary Shepherd.
No, just to be formal.
So we made contact with DEP this afternoon, and they said that they would try to expedite that, definitely have it before your next meeting. So I guess my question really is, if you can't close the meeting, can you take a position on it contingent upon receiving the DEP number? There's a time, just to be clear for the record, for those that are watching in Townsend Cable Land, there is now a time constraint on this. And it's been going on for 14 months to see the Fisher Cut bait. So I think we need to send a message to the rest of the boards and committees that there's a favorable direction, or we're looking for reasons to not take a position, or whatever it is, to send a clear message forward. They'll be meeting tomorrow with the building commissioner, the interim building commissioner, to make some determinations. So I think anything that would suggest the direction that we're going, or take a position contingent upon a number might be helpful.
Well, with the exception of the minor adjustment of the erosion control, none of us here.
That's noted.
And yes, none of us here have any concerns or really questions on what is being proposed, because it's straightforward. It's just a replacement essentially. It's a matter of having consistency, and you know, we historically have not approved something without a DEP number, but I can confidently say there's nothing on this plan that is jumps out and is concerning.
Is there a state requirement that you can't close a hearing and take a position contingent upon DEP number?
Jessica, did you hear that question?
The DEP has told me that we cannot make a decision on an NOI until we have the file number.
I will add to that too. DEP is reviews these applications thoroughly for compliance with the Wetlands Protection Act too. So the commission acts on behalf of the Townsend Wetland Bylaw and the Wetlands Protection Act, but DEP is reviewing for WPA standards. So it's possible I'm just stating it hypothetical. It's possible that the DEP will come back with some comments of concern or praise or whatever. We don't know. That's on them. As this project relates to the WPA. So as much as we would like to hope that they say no comment, it's possible that they have comments that would need to be addressed in the interim prior to the next hearing. So that's a risk. If the commission, first of all, the commission cannot close the hearing without the number because you have to put the DEP file number onto your order of conditions. So it's basically like sending out a permit without a unique identifier number. Also, if you needed to impose any special conditions based on what the DEP's comments were, you need to include that in your hearing, at least consider it as the commission in your hearing. Should the commission choose to ignore DEP's comments, issue an order of conditions, DEP reserves the right during that 10-day appeal period to appeal the decision of the commission.
So if you made it contingent upon a successful response from the DEP, what's wrong with that? It just seems that many times we always want to hold out for one other reason that we can't take a position and make a decision.
I'm not on the commission, so I can't make a yay or nay call on this, but with the commissioners, to me, it does not seem like there's anything blaring of concern from a wetland bylaw standpoint.
Based on towns and wetland bylaws, this looks good to us. Exactly. Without comments from DEP and a formal DEP number, we can't move forward and issue a order of conditions, but we intend to. Once we have.
Can you go on the record for that?
It's recorded. We're in a public meeting.
So I guess I'm trying to make sure we deliver that message to the building commissioner tomorrow.
But if a DEP number comes in tomorrow, what is the status of this application?
We could call a special meeting.
Okay. Is there really a need to call a special meeting if you say contingent on nothing negative from the DEP and the DEP number assigned, it can move forward with the DEP number that's assigned tomorrow? Like that's what we do as selectmen, put it in the hands of the town administrator and said, upon receipt of this or upon receipt of that, contingent upon, we take a vote, yay or nay. You don't have that option available to you?
DEP has not communicated that it is unfavorable to do that.
Yeah, we're not able to do that.
I think that's nonsense, but if I may, Mr. Chair, I've never been one to be influenced that someone says or someone has to do that, but it just seems like you kick the can down the road to not take a position, and I'm never been a fan of that. But maybe you could take a position that says the Conservation Commission, as of tonight, would send a letter or some type of document, a memo or memorandum to the building department that they are in favor of moving this along based on a successful response from the DEP. But we've spent a long time, folks, and I know it hasn't been here as long as it should have been. It should have been here, in my opinion, during mandatory referral back in October and never got here. And I think the definition of what a site plan is versus a site drawing has been a little bit cumbersome. So not taking and identifying where we are is just going to add more time. And quite frankly, I'd like to see some type of solid position or note sent to the building inspector so that he can make an informed decision or a contingent decision upon where to go. And I see our friend smirking there, so I'm not sure what that's about. I don't know what the smile was. If you disagree, I agree.
Oh, me? I don't
No, she-
disagree or agree. I was looking at something else, yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think I stick with my original statement based on towns and wetland bylaws and even WPA. This is within reason, and I believe it's the position of the commission. Please, someone speak up if they don't believe so, that based on DEP's comments, that this would be approved by us, because it is a standard septic replacement.
So is it unreasonable to expect or request a memorandum sent to the building department in the morning?
I think that's a reasonable request based on.
I have no problem at all with that. Based on the approval of the DEP number, and obviously the green tabs.
But,
Oh,
we have
have
all
those,
the detail stuff,
And the,
and Chris is gonna make some
favorable report.
revisions,
Yeah,
but they're
favorable.
minor.
favorable report, from, on the, oh my God, it was the DEP.
Right, and Chris has to provide us with a National Heritage.
Yeah, National Heritage.
Turtle plan, but that's a
And
It's a standard thing.
Chris is gonna move that silt fence down along that 50-foot buffer, bring it up, connect it to that granite found. That's a minor.
But if we get a
minor
DEP
change.
number by the end of the week, I don't have a problem calling us an emergency meeting to approve.
No problem at all.
As well,
Do you have a meeting on the
Absolutely.
24th?
yes.
Because they knew today that there was a meeting on the 24th, and they felt very comfortable you'd have it by the 24th. I guess, Chris, if I can, I might be a little out of
If they
line.
had it tomorrow.
That scares me that they know that.
If they had it, Monday, say the board gets it Monday, we get notification that it's good, and everything is good by everyone. I don't have a problem to have an emergency meeting, we can have that, can't we?
Yeah.
That's okay, no problem with that, right?
You just have to have a 48-hour notice, I think.
And Monday's a holiday, so it has to be business day, so.
Yeah,
it's
so
not a big
Tuesday,
deal.
Wednesday, whatever, depending
But
on
I feel
information.
comfortable if you in tomorrow, Autumn. So
Yeah.
I feel comfortable sending a memorandum to the building commissioner stating that we intend to permit this project based on
The DP number in which we are in waiting.
contingent of the DEP number and any remarks that they have.
Chris, if you're still there, is it an unrealistic request to make sure that maybe we can have a PE review that in the morning and move that, that silt fence to the proposed location before 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon?
Chris, you with us?
Chris, you're muted.
Come back with us, buddy. There you
Sorry,
go.
I forgot I muted myself. Yeah, sorry, Gary. Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I can get that fixed up and get it over to Greg in the morning, and he can review and stamp it.
He and I had a conversation today as well, but if I could grab that by noon tomorrow, I could deliver it to the building inspector at that time.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
So.
And Gary, I'll be at that meeting tomorrow, as you know, so I'll work with Autumn in the morning as the conservation agent. She can act on behalf of the commission and write that memo of
That'd be great.
understanding, and then I can bring it to the meeting to show the building commissioner.
And I can
Simply trying to identify all the outstanding issues to make a determination.
Yeah,
and I-
that works.
Okay.
Just
So
call me and
I'll
I'll
be
sign.
at that meeting.
Jacques, you had a,
I just wanted to thank Christian to think about getting this memo out tomorrow morning. It's going to be really important for all the departments to be aware of where we stand. So thank you.
We will do that, and thank you, Joe.
I want to, we've said it before and we'll say it again. Our intentions as a commission is to help people complete projects within towns and wetland bylaws and the WPA. And by no means do we try to hang anyone up or cause problems. I know in the past there's been scrutiny of with past commissions, but our intentions are to be transparent and to offer as much assistance as possible.
We'll try to expedite it through.
Well, and that's on all projects. We do, the agent goes through all these permits prior to make sure everything's complete so that it's not back and forth, back and forth. It's come in front of us, done. It has happened a handful of times. We have another hearing tonight where we don't have a DEP number, but it's just part of how it is.
Sometimes other entities don't act quite as promptly and as efficiently as you'd like to see.
Well, I appreciate your candid conversation tonight, and we certainly want to do what is required to stay within the confines and the guidelines of the bylaws and the rules and regulations. It's time.
Time is essence.
So,
Anything else?
we need a motion and a second to continue this to our next meeting on the 24th.
Or before.
Or
You'll have
before.
to make, you
Or
have to
before.
make that motion.
Okay, so I make a motion that we continue this hearing, for 80 Main Street in the Townsend Historic Society, to our meeting on January 24th, 2023,
Or sooner.
2024.
or 2024, or sooner.
Or sooner.
By
emergency meeting, or by.
I'll make the motion, do a second.
Second.
Roll call vote,
Pat Jamal, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Got it. A lot of stress. Time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you, folks.
Is the meeting adjourned?
Nope.
No.
No, that particular hearing, yes.
It is 8:10, 2.3, it's an 8 PM hearing, but notice of intent, DEP number 308-0703, Townsend Wetlands Bylaw 2023-162. Applicants Robert Becker, rep is Braz Engineering LLC, Trevor Fletcher is representing them. Need a motion and a second to open the hearing.
I'll make a motion to open the hearing on the notice of intent, DEP number 308-0703, Townsend Wetland Bylaw 2023-162. The applicant, Robert Becker, representative Visgraz Engineering LLC, Trevor Fletcher. The address location is 50 Sauna Road. Project status, the proposed project is for the construction of a new septic system, including a 39-foot septic tank and a 30-foot pump chamber in well to service an existing house due to the proximity of Vinton Pond within the buffer zone of 200 foot.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, please.
Pat Jamal, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes. Sorry.
Pursuant to the Mass WPA and Townsend Wetlands Bylaw, the Townsend Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, January 10th, 2024 at approximately 8 PM. The hearing will be held virtually via Zoom meeting and in person at Town Hall on a notice of intent filed with the Conservation Commission by Robert Becker. The property is located at 50 Sauna Road, Assessors Map 2, parcels 24-0 and 25-3. The proposed project is for the construction of a new septic system to service an existing house. All of the construction will take place within 200 feet of Vinton Pond. Parties wishing to speak in support of or in opposition to this application may do so at the meeting or in writing prior to the meeting. Copies of the application are available for review at Town Hall during business hours. Mr. Becker's here. Do you know if Trevor's joining?
Understood Trevor would be here, he's clearly not.
Yeah, he did mention he had another meeting with, the town of Ashby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a 7:15 meeting, so my guess is he got held up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a job for me. I forgot that look at that, is it? I recognize that.
Well, I guess, do you want to take a stab at this, or?
I really leaned on Trevor heavily, but if there's any questions I could try to answer, I'd be glad to help. I don't think much has changed, since, the walkthrough. And the pump tank was moved, so the corner was a less into the zone. New
That's pretty cool. See what we got here. Make sure everything's still where it's supposed to be.
Yep.
This is a site up in the old part of Townsend, it's on an old pond, big pond, beautiful, beautiful pond. This is an old existing house, actually, camp cottage. It's a beautiful place. I knew it quite well as a youngster. My father did quite a bit of work for it over the years. It's a beautiful place. Their septic system has failed. What they're proposing is, down here's the waters, is a retaining wall along the water.
Yeah.
There's an existing, like a cesspool area here. They're proposing to put in a new septic tank and then have it flow right around the corner, kind of at the end of the camp, keeping out as far as they can away from the water's edge. And then this would be a pump chamber in which it's gonna pump the water up, way up and up to the leach field area.
Did he
Which
have any
is
comments?
outside of the 100 feet. It's in a field, it's all sand and gravel. It's not gonna, I mean, obviously this work down here is they're doing the best they can to mitigate as far as erosion control. It's an upgrade. We need to work with them as much as we can to help them get it in.
Yeah, it's not much, because you also have the well, radius that you have to.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of factors. It's an existing old lot. You know, it's just the excavation area is going to be down the road.
Possible future addition.
Sorry, no,
Now, what do you do with the old subject? Does that just get?
that gets filled, pumped and filled. And these tanks, these new tanks that are going in are sealed. They have a sealant between the two sections of the tanks. So they're sealed, so they can't leak any septic fluid into the pond.
Yeah.
This is far enough away from the pond. This is actually well outside the 100 foot. From the pond, there's 100 foot over here.
Well, yeah, okay, so there's the wetland off.
So it's outside the pond outside the 100 by about 20 feet, I'd say. So they've kind of jammed it right up against the other side of the property.
Well, so this is, hold on. Okay, there's the tools like this. All right. There's no silt fence detail though. There's also no, is there a, material stockpile? No.
It's not that either. This area, they're obviously gonna be stuffing it right up here.
Right, but as part of the.
No,
our regulations that we
can't put it on the plan for them.
No.
Well, maybe we'll try from shortly.
So. We can't, but he's gonna do it. but there's, and then, there's no silt fence detail and no,
Or he's just showing hay bales.
yeah, they should say what it is.
Getting old. See like I used to.
If it's an option, could we table it? I can send him a text message and see if he can join us and not to, so this doesn't cause other things to queue up later.
Well, we have, this one's good, we have it on here too.
Yeah.
Two more, I think.
Two more? Yeah, one more.
What size was there?
What?
What is this?
So that's, if this fails,
Yeah.
that's the backup.
Oh, okay.
I think
Yeah,
we're
one-
happy to hang around if you want to move on. In the hopes that Trevor can jump on Zoom at some point.
So there's some details that need to be added to the plan, which would have to be done before we really can improve it. One of them's, where you stockpile, your spoil stockpile, so the excess soils.
He doesn't have that on the plan, he doesn't have a detail of the erosion control. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
So that is going to be a concern anyway. I'd like to just do this to help you folks, but I can't just do that. So,
Autumn, can you communicate, with him about,
What's needed?
yeah.
Yep.
So there's, spoil pile location, where it's going to be stockpiled, and then, there's the silt fence detail, and I don't know, as a commission, I think wattles and hay, and silt fence on this project because of the proximity of the water.
yeah,
And the detail.
big wattles,
The
the big ones,
the 12-inch,
yeah, the big ones and sulfents, or hay bales and sulfents.
yeah.
He's just showing hay bale, area there. I don't, really can't, calculate, Jim.
What?
Oh, there we go.
Do we have them?
Josh.
Josh.
Brown did the original perk tests.
Excuse me?
If that's Josh, he came out and did the perk tests. He's familiar with the set.
Yeah, Gratz.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Josh, can you hear us?
He's got muted out. We're all muted out. Hey, there we are.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, hi. Sorry, Trevor was supposed to take this meeting and he just texted me. He's in another meeting in another town that was supposed to be over by now, but it's not. So sorry I'm a little late. Just had to jump on.
That's great.
But
Yeah, do you mind just going over this with us quickly? And we've got some, questions and
Okay.
ads you need to see.
okay. So do you have the plan that you can share, or would you like me to share my screen? Or do you all have it in front of you?
We have it in front of us.
We have it.
Yep, so essentially what we have here is, it's an existing 3-bedroom dwelling on the lot. And right now there's a cesspool that's about 30 to 35 feet from Vinton Pond. And that is filled, and the existing well's also about 30 feet from that existing cesspool. So essentially what we're doing here is we're proposing to tie into the existing line that the the septic comes out of the dwelling currently, put in the 2-compartment septic tank there, and tie that into a pump chamber, which we'll then pump up to the leach field, which we've managed to get 100 feet off of the wetlands. That leach field area right now is all existing as a lawn area. And so we wouldn't have to be doing any cutting of trees there. And we're also proposing to add a new well out by the existing propane tank near the driveway that's out there, because currently that well is contaminated. And we're proposing silt fence along all of the area that's going to be disturbed during the work. Currently, that whole area is disturbed and lawn down to the pond. So I know that your regulations call for the 35-foot buffer, but that really seemed like the best place to get that pump chamber.
So.
And then
Did we receive a waiver request?
Yes, it's in the paperwork that I printed.
Yeah.
Very bad. That's the waiver.
And then the clients plan to do a future addition to that house, so it would be turning the house from a 3-bedroom into a 4-bedroom. So we did a plan that's fully compliant with Title V, did with the full reserve area as well as the 4 deep holes, so 2 in the reserve area and 2 in the system.
That's fine. I guess my only question would be.
What?
They're showing, I guess my question would be, he's showing silt fence, he's got hay bales drawn in there. I think it should have both.
Yeah. Silt fence and hay bales, or silt fence and 12-inch sock.
You don't have it, or silt fence with
wattles.
With wattles, 12-inch.
Yeah, we've done that several times in the past, just have the wattles right in front of the silt fence.
So we don't have a detail on that, and that's required, and we also require a spoil pile location outlined on the plan of where any of the spoils are going to be placed during the project.
You said spoil pile?
Yeah.
Oh, the for the excavation work?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
I know it's tight in here, Kevin. Is it, taking the silt fence and just plugging in the sauna tight?
Well, that's all we can do.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's still a couple feet there just to be outlined.
Well, that's close.
Yeah.
You're over dig, you're right on it. To drop that
Right,
pump
that's
chamber, that's what I'm saying.
Sandy gravel, so it's.
So it's gonna be out there. It's gonna be right on the, you're gonna be right on the edge of it.
Yeah, there was also a few trees there right in front of the house that we were trying to avoid with the septic lines.
I believe
they're gonna take them down when we were out there.
Okay.
Right on the corner of the house, I think was marked, but the other ones were gonna.
You're gonna try to save them. He's gonna have to put his spoils on the plan.
Right.
Probably upland of this, right in this area right here, I would think. Over the 92 contour showing. It's gonna get as far away as they're gonna be able to reach. And then over on this side, they're just gonna have to keep it up in here someplace, right?
Yeah, there won't be that much in here.
No.
You just got the.
You got pipe going up through there, but you got this material.
Yeah.
This material is gonna come this way. It's gonna go up here. The D&B dig and bail. I don't have a problem with it if he shows it here and, shows an area up here. If he gets a detail on there, we can't approve it like it is.
Right.
So he's gonna have to make those changes.
Yeah, no, I agree. Did you get those?
There is, I'll point out, there's plenty of room. where you see the text that says full-size conventional system proof, that text and to the north of that text, that all exists as open field, so we could extend that silt fence further to the north, and that could be a stockpile area there, just in that open field surrounded by silt fence.
Yeah, about where that 98 contour showing.
98.
See the electric?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, up in
Across
between.
that 98 contour. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Run that out
Yep.
there another 50, 60
Yeah,
feet.
just extend the silt fence another 50 or 60 feet or whatever it takes.
Down here on the south side of the house, where the existing cesspool is, where the proposed tank is going.
Yep.
Somewhere up around that 92 contour, you're gonna have to show a stockpile area.
Okay, yep.
Oil stockpile area.
And I think because of the contour, it should be surrounded with just silt fence.
You're probably gonna have to throw some silt fence around that,
Okay.
so.
Would you want that to be silt fence and wattles as well?
No, just silt fence would be fine.
Just silt fence
You're
around the
in and out,
stockpiles,
you're in and
okay.
out of there. It's not,
Yep.
and if the weather is, if it looks like you're gonna be, you're gonna dig and bury those tanks in a day's time.
Right,
you gotta-
exactly. Yeah.
That you can make the swing, cause you're gonna be pulling that material out of that pump chamber hole. You're gonna have to swing that around, send that up where the tank is, and then throw it uphill or whatever, so you wanna get enough of an area there. And then you're probably gonna need a stockpile area, see where it says stone step walkway where it's written in there? You
Yep,
probably ought to
yep.
put a little area there as your
Yeah,
area. to catch
Just
that.
for the trench for the line.
For the trenches that leaves the force main,
Yep.
that'll get you covered up there. Would be
Yep.
pretty happy with that, wouldn't we, Jim?
Yeah.
And did you get the detail, putting the detail on the plan of the silt fence and wattles?
Yep.
That's not currently on your plan,
Okay.
unless I'm not seeing something.
I'm not seeing it, but I could be wrong.
Looks like
No,
he's on, right?
Yeah, Trevor's on now too.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
Trevor
a-
made it on? Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
I had a meeting about a driveway and it took an hour and 15 minutes and then they still continued it. Oh, I didn't.
Trevor, you
Yeah,
just
okay, we
covered
can
it.
add a silt fence detail on that with the wattles.
so in the wattles, we wanted to see a 12-inch, something larger than the standard 6
Use the big wattles.
or sock. Or hay bales.
Big wattles or hay bales? And other than that, it should be pretty good, huh?
Yeah,
Trevor, are you with us now?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know if you were listening in early, I don't know when you came in, but your plan doesn't have an erosion control detail on it. So if you could throw that, find a spot in the block and throw that up in the corner someplace, that would be great.
Absolutely.
And, as we talked to Josh about we require a spoil area shown on the plan. And, we kind of went over it with him, so should be in pretty good shape there.
Awesome.
Other than that, I don't have a problem, do you?
no, but we need to see those before we can approve it.
Well, yes, yeah.
So we will continue it, but I will note that, the applicant is asking, for a waiver request, for the septic upgrade plan for 50 Sauna Road. Regulation 150-2 K16 vegetative buffers not to be disturbed 35 foot wide. We are seeking relief from this regulation as pump chamber location will be 30 feet and the disturbance to install it will be 25 feet away from the lake. This area is largely disturbed and the only natural feature is a tree that will not be disturbed. The only tree that will be removed is outside of this buffer zone. Pump chamber is placed in an optimal location to reduce bends in the force main, which will decrease the likelihood for problems with the septic. The placement of this pump chamber also meets all Title V minimum setbacks to wetland features. the reconsideration of, our waiver request. So we will have to,
We'll have to act on that.
we'll vote on that when we close this out.
Yeah. We're gonna have to continue this. When you want to try to do
That's one,
it, the 24th?
24th.
Trevor, do you think you could have, we'd love to approve your plan tonight, but we can't based on, we've got a couple things that just have to get on there.
Okay.
We'd like if you can get it done, get it back before us for the 24th.
I'll try to get it to you tomorrow.
That's great. Don't kill yourself because you got a little time.
All right.
And get back to us on the 24th. I think we'll be able to act on this for you. And we'll have to act on your 30-foot setback for your pump chamber. Understanding that, you know, you gotta have a little area there on the corner to get that tank to slide in the hole. We're both pretty familiar with how that works. We both do that for a living. So,
Is that something that you guys could vote on tonight? So all that's left to do is.
we can't approve it without that information on the plan. We can't approve the plan.
You can't approve the waiver itself.
I suppose, but what's the sense? Might as well just wait and approve it all at once, the next meeting.
I just want to make sure, you know, if you guys have a problem with it, I don't want it to go to another meeting
It's
after that.
not gonna help you, Trevor. It's not gonna help you if we approve that waiver tonight, and then you come in for us on the 24th, and then we approve the other. You can't do nothing anyway.
Okay.
They'll do them both and be done with it in a matter of minutes.
Just the other side of things, the way certain towns work, you know, I'd change the plans and then come back, and then you guys would deny the waiver, and then I'd have to come back again. So, you know, certain towns.
We're not interested in tying you up.
Okay.
Any longer than we absolutely have to, Trevor.
All
You
right.
know, if this had been on there, we would have been able to get right through it tonight. We're trying to help get through it, you know? You get that to us, we'll continue.
Trevor, they had mentioned putting one of the spoils piles down by where the existing cesspool is. So that would change where your silt fence extends to, and that would be an alteration to the plan within 35 foot. So even though it's super minor, it's going to be like 10 feet of silt fence dragged in, but that would still be a change within that buffer. So just good practice to hold off on that until we have the revised plan.
Yeah, but, and we also noted, think having just silt fence around the stockpile material, should be included, in your detail or in your notes.
Okay.
So we're not gonna, as the plan sits right now, we can't approve it, but with those changes, there's no reason not to approve it. We're not gonna make it come back to us. Because again, that's not right.
It's not our intention to hold you up, Trevor.
Alrighty. Yeah. So we'll make those changes and we'll get that to you.
Do you think this, if you're on the south side of this lot, see the existing cesspool where you've got noted on your plan, existing well to be abandoned?
Yep.
See the wording for that?
Yep.
Jess had made a comment a little bit ago. Are you referring to that area should be kicked up another 25 feet, Jess, to accommodate the stockpile area and protect it?
Oh, no, I sort of missed where you guys recommended putting the stockpile. I was just referencing to Trevor that it's near the 35 foot. It should be as far away as possible, of course.
Yeah, it was in between the 92 and 94 gradient on that side of the house, to the east of, or west of, the tank.
Kind of right where the leader is, that the arrow pointing to the proposed tank in that area there.
Well, yeah, just outside the house a little of it, right about where you 92 and 94 contours was circled there.
So you guys want to pull the silt fence then up the hill?
No,
too?
no. Keep the silt fence where it is. Maybe
extend it. Sorry, like extend it up the hill, not like change the angle of it.
But we also mentioned putting silt fence on the downhill side of that stockpiled material.
So if that's the case.
Just in case.
Should be good.
Okay. Yeah.
I think this needs to come up a little bit.
It wouldn't hurt.
You know, can you kick that, can you kick that silt fence hay bale line, make that corner right there and kick it up another 20 feet or so, give yourself a little extra protection right there?
Sure.
And then we also talked about extending it by the leach field, another 50 or 60 feet.
Because you're gonna stockpile, that material's gotta be stockpiled into the field area. So that'll just give yourself a little more protection over there.
Great.
I'll just note for the record, there were no DEP comments for this project.
Thank you, Jessica.
Pat, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I think it'll be good when it's done.
Want me to make a motion to extend this hearing to,
24th.
24th? I'll make a motion to extend, continue the hearing, I'm sorry.
No,
Continue the hearing for Robert Becker on the notice of intent, DEP number 308-0703, from the Townsend Wetland Bylaws 2023-162. And the applicant Robert Becker through Braz Engineering, location 50 Sauna Road. Extend the, continue the hearing until January 24th. And I'm meeting January 24th.
Right now, second that.
roll call vote, please.
Pat Gemini, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
We're getting there.
We'll get it
Thank
done
you.
for you as soon as we can.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I know it was long.
Yeah.
tonight.
Thank you. Sorry to keep you guys waiting.
No,
That's all right, Trevor.
Thank you.
Josh, thank you for jumping on and.
Yeah, you saved the day.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay,
What do we got?
next.
Oh, Josh, Jose, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe.
Next.
Next is
2.4, hearing is for 8:25, it's now 8:40. Notice of intent, we do not have a DEP number yet. Townsend Wetland Bylaws 2023-163. The applicant is Jose Mercado.
Yep.
Joe. Rep is Norse Environmental Services, location's 106 Haynes Road. I make a motion that we open this hearing at 8:41 PM.
second.
Roll call vote.
Pat Gemini, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Pursuant to the Mass WPA and Townsend Wetland Bylaws, the Townsend Concom will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, January 10th, 2024 at approximately 8:25 PM. The hearing will be held virtually via Zoom meeting and in person at Town Hall on a notice of intent filed with the Conservation Commission by Jose Mercado. The property is located at 106 Haynes Road, Assessor's Map 43, Parcel 7. The proposed project is to demolish a dilapidated single-family dwelling, cut and clear trees, crush and fill an existing septic tank, and then construct a new single-family dwelling, deck, bulkhead, and well with grading and associated utilities. Part of the work will occur within 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands. Parties wishing to speak in support of or in opposition to this application may do so at the meeting or in writing prior to the meeting. Copies of the application are available for review at Town Hall during business hours.
Hi, good evening. My name's Maureen Harold. I'm from Norse Environmental Services, here on behalf of Joe. We filed a notice of intent with the commission to raise the existing single-family dwelling. I believe the dwelling's been vacant for a number of years now, just kind of left in ruins at this point. would like to crush and fill in the septic tank per Title V requirements and construct a new single-family dwelling deck and well on the property. The deck itself is proposed 60 feet away. The well is proposed 55 feet away. We meet and maintain the 35-foot vegetated buffer that the commission likes to see. We are in the process of getting the septic system approved. It's been filed with Board of Health. I spoke to the engineer and they wanted a few revisions to the septic system, but that's outside of the 100-foot buffer zone. And I can open it up to the commission with any questions or concerns.
There's still fence detail on this one.
And stockpile, I heard that from the first meeting.
So this is the existing house, Pat. Here's Haynes Road, the little driveway going up, and they're gonna build a house here. The wattles are already in place.
Yeah, they're here.
They're already,
Yep.
they're all installed and we inspected them. So that part of it is good.
So this is the wetlands in question. Proposed big driveway going up. At least.
There's already an existing driveway about where that one was proposed, am I right, Joe?
Yeah, it says it right there.
It's kind of an existing dirt, yeah. This was kind of, might have been roughly paved down in the lower section there. Mm. It's, pretty straightforward site. There's an old, like I say, there's an old existing, whatever you wanna call it in there. Inhabitants unknown.
Yeah.
It's what's putting in those things. Pretty straightforward. Either.
Nope.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna get into that big discussion. I'll be patient.
Yeah, well, you might have to be for a day or two.
That's okay.
Yeah, so spoil pile location needs to be outlined.
Okay.
So,
There's all full cellar room in the back of it too, Joe.
I'm sorry?
Full cellar room underneath the back of the house.
yeah, because that's the bulk of it.
Yes,
Not a
it
lot.
is.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Smart guys to get.
Well, no, it was in the,
That's a-
Oh, my God. Wasn't any closer, it would hit me.
yeah, it's straightforward. I don't, with some minor revisions, it shouldn't be a,
No, see any problem at all. The shark pile in there.
so,
Same thing, I don't think they have a detail, it might,
there's no detail on the wattle.
That's not a problem. I can revise the plan, provide a stockpile area and a detail.
Okay.
I don't know about Doug Lee. I know Doug. I was.
Is that the engineer? Oh.
He's a wicked nice guy.
Yeah, smart
He
engineer.
does- He does work for us, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, Autumn, do you have anything?
I don't, that's good, yeah.
Cut and dry, like,
Just making the town or the road look better.
oh yeah, geez, that's tough. It's a nice lot. It'd be a nice, nice spot for the folks that, what is it, your in-laws?
My in-laws, I'm building it for my in-laws, yeah.
It's a nice spot. So I guess if Maureen could get Douglas to get an erosion control detail in there.
Yep, and then the location.
Some spoil areas, stockpile locations in there. I don't see any reason why we're having issues at all.
So we'll have to continue this till the next meeting,
You
unfortunately.
want me to make a motion to continue up to the 24th?
Yeah.
Maureen, you're gonna have that information for us, no problem.
You got it. Yep.
All right.
Jessica, do you have anything you wanna, or need to add?
No, other
Great.
than, yeah, since we do not have DEP comments yet, again, this is pretty straightforward, but Maureen, if you guys want to wait just to combine effort till we get the DEP comments, if they have any, to incorporate any of their plan changes, before you guys review this and stamp it and all.
Sure, not a problem.
So we still should be able to continue it up to the 24th. We should have their information back by then.
Yeah, and they'll receive a copy of it as well, so.
Yep. Okay, great.
That being said, I'll make a motion to continue the hearing on DEP number 308, I guess to be determined, Towns and Wetlands Bylaw 2023-163 for Joe Masato and with the representative of North Environmental Services. The address is 106 Ames Road. We'll extend that to the 24th of January.
And
You're
I'll,
gonna make me read the whole thing?
No, the cat.
Oh, the cat.
and I'll
Say
second
that, do
that.
something wrong.
I just looked up in the cat.
What'd they do, just give you the?
He's so friendly.
I think we have to
continue it to the next meeting.
I did, didn't I ask you, oh, what did I say, extend it?
Yeah.
Oh, me and my extension, I'm sorry.
Well, how many nights have we plowed in the past?
Oh, I know, we haven't got a lot of sleep. You want me to read it again?
No.
So not to continue.
Continue this till the 24th.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
We have a second?
I did, I seconded it.
Thank you, Pat.
All right, pal, I'm glad you did that.
Roll call vote, please.
Pat Joel, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Thank you, Maureen, for attending, and thank you, Joe, for coming, and
Great. Thank you. Have a good night.
you too.
Got a great board.
Thank you, young lady. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It's nice. Had a
Sorry we
good time
couldn't-
attending. actually. It's exciting.
Had attendance
You
like
learn a
this.
lot.
Oh, I'm sure you've seen a good many of them.
Oh, yeah, I
You
have.
serve on.
Yeah, I serve on one. You guys got a great board.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll put you on first in the agenda next time. We'll go in reverse order. How's that?
All right. No, it's okay. Well, thank you.
Well, if you'd
Have a
built
nice
that
evening,
big-
everyone.
you'd built that big house in Townsend, you could have joined us on the board. Thank you, Joe.
He doesn't have to be a resident.
Well, that's right, too. Well, that's right. All right. So we took care of that.
All right, and we already did 97 Main Street, so 3.2 enforcement order, 187 Pierce Road ratification of the EO. Well, property owners are John and Samantha Morris. This is to help them close out their OOC. So the extent and type of activity, one OOC issued in August 2020 for new construction house, septic, utilities, driveway. All development occurred within 100 feet of wetland buffer zone and 200 feet of wetland riverfront area, and the driveway crossing intermittent stream resource area. Mitigation for the driveway crossing was required through 5 separate planting areas. OOC expired in August 2023 with no extension requested. required mitigation areas never completed. 2, based on review of aerial photography and the site plan provided with the NOI, tree clearing within the buffer zones appears to be extended beyond the permitted situation barriers and limit clearing. Hold on. Property owners should take the following actions to prevent further violations of the act. As per meeting with the Concom and the violator on 12/13/23, 100 plants were installed in late fall 2023. Both parties agreed to 2-year monitoring period to ensure at least 75% survivability. Should additional plantings be needed in the interim, it is the responsibility of the violator to meet these requirements. After successful completion of 2-year monitoring period with 75% vegetation survival, then a request for certificate of compliance can be filed.
So this is an updated enforcement order.
Yes. So, and with that little bit of additional clearing that they did, just including all 100 plants, just had
Enforcement area before.
yes, well, they were all placed. So if there's no questions or comments or concerns, we can motion to approve this enforcement order.
I'll make a motion to approve that enforcement order.
Yeah, 187.
Approve the enforcement order for 187 Pierce Road.
Ratify the enforcement order.
Ratify, I'm sorry, on that enforcement order for 187 Pierce Road. Thank you, Jessica.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Pat. Roll call vote.
Pat Gemini, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off. Have a great
So,
night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you. Bye, Gary.
Okay, Autumn, you're on the hot seat now.
Okay, so
4.5 MACC WPA regulation updates.
Yep.
Comments sent to MACC by March 1st. Do you need
So,
this?
sure.
Kevin?
This is just saying, here, I have a few copies for everybody. This is just saying that the Wetlands Protection Act is going to be, there's gonna be some changes made to it. Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Sure. So it does, this document doesn't go into detail about what the changes are gonna be, but it does have links to where, you can read the changes. The draft of the regulation is available. They're gonna do updates to the 401 water quality cert regulations and also waterways, chapter 91 resilience, 1.0 draft regulations. So those are all gonna be updated. If you'd like to make any comments, those comments are due to Mass DEP by March 1st, 2024.
Do we need to,
We don't need to vote on anything.
what?
Oh,
Where am I stacking them?
Do we, I'll just take it past that.
okay.
Should we read it into this more, the next meeting?
The next meeting, thank you.
Sure, I can provide,
See what,
see what the changes are.
yes.
I can do that.
All right, we'll start sending that your way.
That one, last one.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, if we can do that.
There's actually a lunch and learn information session that's being held in January and February also. If
It's
you,
virtual, so I have zero interest that they're not providing me lunch.
okay. Well, I can attend and then I'll.
Oh, virtual?
Yeah,
You were going in person.
I do, but
Get a free lunch.
Hold on, there's one more.
Thank you, James.
Welcome, sir. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so next
Not
week,
so nimble tonight.
hopefully
We've done a
next
couple
next
of ones
meeting,
like this.
worst case, we could do it the first meeting in February, but, yeah, we can discuss the, WPA regulation changes. The next meeting, we've got, 80 Main Street continuance, 50 Sauna Row Road continuance, and 106 Haynes Road continuance. What else do we have on the docket for RDAs and NOIs coming in for the next meeting?
For NOIs, I've just heard from, our friend at 88 Meadow Road, Dave Schaefer. He said he's going to try and get his in this week.
Here's Bacon. Here's paperwork.
Yes,
You know,
paperwork,
it's like,
What?
Where's Bacon?
Yeah, he put his
Yeah.
pipe in, but then he neglected to
Yeah.
follow what we
Yeah.
requested, so it's $300 a week.
I'm surprised I really,
I- I-
great guy.
He's working on
Yeah, but still,
it.
yeah, it's 10 o'clock and done. So we do have grant opportunities that we need to discuss at the next meeting. We've also, like, you guys submitted our budget request that we put in for.
I don't know if Jessica's submitted it yet.
It's supposed to be submitted.
Okay, then. she
I
knows
think
then.
she was gonna try to get it in.
No, we went through it, we put numbers to things,
Correct.
big numbers, like actual numbers that we hope to do something with.
We'll see how they do. See how favorable.
Next meeting is, Wednesday, January 24th, 2024 at 7 PM, Board of Select Chambers, second floor. Meeting will also be held virtual Zoom, remote. In accordance to COVID-19 safety guidelines. I'd like to thank Bruce Morse for joining us tonight. And new motion and a second to adjourn our meeting at 9 PM.
Second.
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting at 9 PM.
Now you can make your second, Kevin.
Oh, second, I'm sorry.
Roll call
I
vote.
thought that was me.
Generally, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.